Good morning, sports fans from all around the world. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is March 27th, 2022, and your breakfast bankroll live from Vegas. If you look at would be my left shoulder, your right shoulder, in between those two pylons, that's where I stood yesterday, high above courtside, with the one, the only Mr. Lucky Follow Fade and his entourage as we finally met and we had an amazing time. Both games. We talked, watched, watched. Um, and then, of course, the mayor of Vegas, Mr. Sharapan, enters the building. And then right behind him, Matt Peralt. And again, Mr. Lucky, you two guests and friends, an amazing time. And this morning, in a couple hours, we will go part 2 at South Point with the one and only Mr. Bertie Fratto will enter the building. And between him and Lucky and all the stories that will be said, it will be off the charts. And the voice apologies. It's not from me yelling, screaming, hollering, and hooting with the Owls and soaring with the Eagles. The allergies out here are horrific right now. And it's awful. But we move on. Apologies for yesterday. They had no internet here, and it was going in and out. So I didn't want to put you guys through that. As for the VIPs, 2-1 yesterday. We were on Nova, plus the 3.5 and plus the 132 for pizza and beer on the money line. Jumped on Arkansas late, wrong side. That's all it was. I talked to everyone at the Circa. The dagger was the 3-pointer by Duke right before the half. The game went from 9 to 12. After that, it was one little run, cut it to 5. And then Duke went on a 10-0 run, and the rest was history there. And we end with a bang. Calgary, minus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 164. I saw plus 170s out there as they beat Edmonton 9-5 last night. So overall, 2 in 1 day. Nice day of profit, almost 2 units if you played Nova money line as well. So we're going into the last day of the week, down about a half unit. Some could be even, some could be down more, maybe almost a full unit. But we're going to put together our action parlay and close up shop. 2 games today. Kind of interested in UNC St. Pete's because UNC wins, they get to face Duke. Duke will have revenge on their mind, obviously, from losing the senior day. And they don't want UNC to knock out Coach K's last game. So it looks like Duke's got a good chance, potentially, getting to that Final Four with Nova and the injury to Moore. That is so huge, especially a team that goes 7 deep. Now we'll have 6 deep, plus a freshman, a sophomore coming off the bench. So if Kansas wins today against Miami, it will be a tough matchup for them. But let's save my vocal cords. Let's bring in my co-host, my partner in crime, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Jeff. I can talk for a while if you want. I mean, holy crap, it's okay. It's always good though to be out and about and see friends and people and meet people for the first time, especially Twitter friends and stuff. So I kind of envy that a little bit. I'm not out there having a blast.
Well, Mr. Lucky, we met on Twitter. We talk, tweet daily. He listens to our show daily. Worth the price of admission. It just everything that you get on Twitter, times it by 2 or 3, and it was just amazing. And to put a face to all the tweets and how we're wired to go back and then to put it together, it was really, really great. And Circa was a zoo. But we were on the second level looking straight down. I mean, they got the million TVs and stuff. So it was a great time. Talked to them mostly for the first game, watched the first game. And then in comes Dave and in comes Matt, and the rest was history. So we had a blast there. Still doing well on the spring training game, Scotty. 2-1s, 3-1s. Just keeping the eyes fresh, following the big moves. No big moves this morning and stuff. But anyways, give us your update on the spring training. What are you seeing? We didn't talk yesterday. So now we're coming into Sunday. We're getting close to about 10, 12 days before opening day. And anything alarming other than Mr. Lucky tweeting that Cody Bellinger's in mid-season form with, I think he said, like 9 strikeouts and 14 at bats or something like that. So what are you seeing out there?
Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is he might be working on some swing or something. I don't pay any attention to any of that. I mean, it's all well and good that there's stats out there that show exactly what he's doing and how he's faring, and it's not very good. I can tell you that. He's been up 19. Well, he has 20 plate appearances. He's got 19 official at bats. In the 19 official at bats, Jeff, he has 14 strikeouts. So he is all single-handedly by himself, really hurting stuff. But look, there's a guy. His name's Bradley Zimmer. I don't know if people know who he is, but he plays first base for the Cleveland Guardians. He has had 16 plate appearances, 15 at bats. He struck out 10 times. So it's I don't want to call it the most uncommon thing in the world to see strikeouts. It's just not. But at the same time, a former MVP kind of player like Cody Bellinger is, I would say it's disheartening to see him continue to fall this way. But I will also tell you that it's because of what he swings like. He's got that real long loopy swing, and it's a swing that stays in one bat plane. And if the ball is in that bat plane, he's going to do pretty good with it. But if you move the ball around to not put it in the same bat plane as what he swings in, he's going to swing and miss a lot. And I think that for a Major League Baseball player to not make adjustments and not be able to do things appropriately, and maybe he's worked on some stuff and all that, but I know that he was trying to figure it out when the Brewers exposed him, and then I think he got to a point now where he's just said, you know what, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing, and I think teams are just going to wear him out. Now, having said that, I hope for the best for the kid because he's a good player, he's a pretty good defender, but at the same time, if you're one of the best teams in all of baseball, how can you afford to have a guy that comes up and plays like that? You can't. He's unreliable, undependable, and if you're not going to hit the ball, then you don't deserve to play. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out over the course of the season. But just because he's struggling now doesn't mean he's going to struggle during the season. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that's going on right now, and the data that you see means zero. I mean, it means nothing. Do not read into all of that. I mean, you can look at the kids that are doing really well too. Bobby Witt Jr. is batting like 500 with 3 home runs and shit. Okay, well, he's going to be a superstar. Okay, well, he might be, and I really think he's going to be really good. I don't know if anybody saw it, but I didn't personally do it. I just copied it and sent it out. But there was a really cool comparison of his swing to Mike Trout's swing, side by side, swing by swing. And boy, oh boy, It's really, really close. I like what I see in Bobby Witt Jr. and I think he's the real deal. I don't think the Royals are going to have nearly enough with Bobby Witt Jr. playing, but they just don't have the pitchers, and they don't. I mean, it's going to be awful to watch the Royals, but they've got some decent players. It's just a matter of they can't compete, and until the team starts spending money like everybody else spends money, it's going to be hard to compete with some of these other teams. But I did put out the predictions this morning. I sent those out just a little bit ago, right before we got on the show. I don't think there's any surprises in there. There's nobody that I think is going to jump up there. I think what you got to look at is who do you think is going to win the East in both leagues. And everything else is kind of status quo. I mean, the Dodgers are going to win the West. The Astros are going to win the West. The White Sox are going to win the Central. I think the Brewers are going to win the Central. And then what do you want to do in the East? And with all these teams that spent all the money, I think Toronto wins it in the American League, and I think that the Braves go back to back again. The Braves have won that damn division 4 straight times. I mean, if you want.
I want to talk. I want to talk about if you play in futures on divisions, and we're going to have a separate show on this, so we won't take up all the time here. I agree with what you're saying without anything in front of me, but when you go again, value's only value if you cash a ticket. The whole world out here, and I say that tongue in cheek, is Brewers, okay? We've talked about the Cardinals, and their front end pitching got worse because of Flaherty and the other injuries. Offensively, they're going to be great. I've seen some money start trickling in on Minnesota when you're talking about everyone's on the White Sox. Agreed, Dodgers. Again, if you looked at the opening numbers at Westgate, Jeff Sherman had the Dodgers beating the Padres by 14.5 games and by the Giants by 16.5 games. So I'm not even going to go in there. I agree with Houston. I like the Angels in a bounce back. I think Seattle might regress a little. I might be that guy initially, and I could get egg on my face, that will actually be fading Robbie Ray to start the year. Why? I think he found it last year. Will he bring it to Seattle? I don't know, but I'm just talking out loud here. The East, I agree with you with Toronto. And in the National League, a lot of steams come on the Mets. I think their under-over has gone up about 2.5 games. I think the Phillies are sneaky. Now, Zach's a little banged up already. They have Nola and that back end. So if you're trying to get some value, would you agree in the NL East, it would be the Phillies? Can you take a swing on the Twins? And is it feasible to fade the Brewers? They had the dream run with that front end staff and Hader staying healthy. With the Cardinals, or would you sit and wait and let like a month go through and maybe they get off to slower starts and you get bigger numbers, or do you want to put your stamp on those immediately?
No, I would tell you a couple of things. I think this is the year the Padres play pretty well. I get it. Tatis isn't going to be there till July or whatever. And he is a superstar player. But I will tell you this, if they can get their pitching to pitch a lot better than they did last year, stay healthy, get those guys to pitch some. I think that they had a real regression type year last year. But think about that when you think about the Mets. This is the same type of thing that happens every single season in Major League Baseball. The team that goes out and signs all the players and wins the offseason sucks ass in the regular season. The first year, not necessarily the second or the third year. it takes a year or so for these guys to get to know each other. You get to, you got managerial changes, you got all kinds of different things to try to put things back together. So I would tell you that you want to look at it from a perspective of the San Diego Padres are going to be a lot better this year, and the Dodgers aren't as good as they were the year before. So I like the Padres to make it into the playoffs. I like the Padres to be a contender, and especially, if you put the Padres, say you put the Padres against the Phillies, for example, the Phillies don't have the pitching depth that the Padres do, and the Padres have a better bullpen. And yeah, sure, the Phillies have some hitters, but I'm going to ask you this question. Here's my concern about the Phillies. Who's their leadoff hitter? According to
Waba.
that's what I'm saying. Schwarber's going to be the leadoff hitter. You know what he bats? That's 230 something. 240. Sure, he hits 35 home runs. Okay. Who's the next guy up for that team? Another big home run guy. I'll pull it up exactly so that I'm not talking out of my ass. It's the Phillies. They're there. So the problem with the Phillies is going to be you got Schwarber, Castellanos, Harper. Okay, great first three guys, and then you got Realmuto, Hoskins. After Realmuto and Hoskins, you're going to run Segura, Gregorius, Brome, and Vierling out there. Vierling's out there because I don't got a center fielder, and he's a rookie, and he's probably going to make it. But anyway, they got 4 or 5 guys that are going to hit at the top of the lineup. But who's going to get on base in front of them? The bottom of the order? I mean, you need to have guys that I mean, I get it that if you want to put Schwarber on the leadoff spot, great, but you're going to put Schwarber on the leadoff spot, and then Castellanos comes up and hits a double, and Schwarber can't score. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So this team is going to be position to position or home run, and they're not going to win enough games when you have to go against the pitching they're going to face. I mean, when you have to face the Braves pitching and you got to face the Mets pitching, you better be able to create runs. I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. So I'm worried about the Phillies. I don't think I'm worried about them enough that they don't make the playoffs, but I'm worried about them in a sense that I don't think they're as competitive. So I do like having Schwarber, and I do like having those Castellanos. I don't like not having a guy or two that can mix in there or be up there in that lineup because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They're station to station or home run. The Braves are much different than that. And even the Mets are going to be different than that. So I like the idea that those teams, even when they have to play a 1-0, 2-0, create a run type game, they're gonna come through there. But I like the Padres as a sort of a sleeper team that nobody thinks about because I think they're going to do pretty well. I like what the Twins have done. I don't know that it's enough to surpass what, the Yankees or the Rays or, teams like that are. I don't think they can surpass what the Angels have done. So I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't think they can catch the White Sox. They don't have enough pitching to catch the White Sox. And their back end pitching is not any good either. So that's a team that's going to really depend on Correa to play as well as he did for Houston last year because they can go station to station real easy too. And they got Sano on that team that strikes out every time, just like Bellinger does. So in answers to your questions, I think that you could take some chances and take some shots with certain teams. I don't know what the Rays are on the numbers right now, but you could almost interchange them with the Yankees or the Blue Jays, and especially if you got good odds, because when you're making wagers, you want to make good odds bets. You could probably get something with the Rays. The Rays have experience in those big games. I don't like them as well as I like the other teams, and that's only because I like a strong starting pitching staff. They don't have that, but they have depth at pitching that the other teams don't have. So they can utilize a lot of resources to get there, but they're a mix and match, and they got to pull off every trigger all the time to make it work. And at some point in time, it's not gonna. But they're a team that you could get value on. I think the Angels are a team that you could get value on, and the reason I say that is because what if Syndergaard's really good? If Syndergaard's really good with Ohtani being really good, and they got that offense that's clicking. And then you can say the same thing about preseason numbers, right? You remember Joe Adell. Joe Adell is a guy that has been a highly touted prospect for the Angels for the last 3 years, and he has not hit. He has been very, 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 very poor. He's been playing great defense, but he's been very poor. But what if I told you, let me pull him up over here for a second. What if I told you that Joe Adell, he's been up 22 times. He's batted 19 times. He's got 6 hits, one triple, and 3 home runs already. And he's stealing bases. He's got, I don't know, he's got 3 stolen bases already. He's like all over the damn place. So maybe it's a breakout season for him. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be, because these numbers don't count. But just saying, what if he shows up? If he shows up, and they got a lot of stuff they can do. I mean, the Angels are a team I think are going to be a team like Seattle. Seattle won 90 baseball games last year. I don't think they're going to come close to that number this year. I think the Angels would be a team that you could look at for that. And like I said before, I like the St. Louis Cardinals. I thought the St. Louis Cardinals were going to be a bigger battle. But after I looked at the numbers and you cannot tell me that the St. Louis Cardinals have even remotely as close a pitching as any of those other teams we just talked about. They don't have as good a pitching as the Braves, the Mets, the Phillies. They don't have the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Padres. Truth is, they don't have as good a pitching as the Giants. The Giants just aren't going to hit like they did last year. So they don't have as good a pitching as the Marlins. I would love to see the Marlins hit. If the Marlins would hit, oh my God, they would be the team that I would be all over. I'm going to be all over them on the over.
Sunday, last day of the week, NBA. What you seeing?
I can just tell you this. I wish we were on yesterday, and the day before I was 2-1. Yesterday I had San Antonio plus 5.5, Sacramento, them bastards, plus 3, and Memphis -2. They all won. So 5-1 over the last 2 days in NBA. And today I'm looking at there's 3 games, and one of the things I'm trying to, I left it up, I turned it down. One of the things I'm trying to look at is, do these games mean anything at the end? Because there's 82 games in the schedule, and these games are at 73 right now, 74. So there's only 8, 9, 10 games left for these teams. And some of these games really matter. So it depends. So like this Milwaukee and Phoenix game, or not Milwaukee, it's Philadelphia and Phoenix plays today. The total in that game, I got to look at them just to make sure they're still fresh, the same numbers. This is 228.5. I didn't get an opening number from Wager Talk, so I got it from pregame, and I don't know if it's the overnight line or where it came from, but they were at 233. So it's telling me that somewhere down the line, it went from 233 to 228. I like over that number. My numbers show that Philadelphia and Phoenix are going to score some points. So I like that. I know that can be a kind of high number, but I think that for these two teams, it's going to go over that number. I like Charlotte and Brooklyn, the same kind of concept here. This game matters to both of them, by the way. They're trying to get into the right play-in game situation for these teams. And I like it over the number as well, unless it's changed on me. What's the number now? It's 238.5. So I like that. I know it's a high number, but I think this is a 240 to 50 type game. My number says 250 on it. And the last one is, and this game's changed a lot. I played Utah +2. It's now Utah and a pick 'em. Utah is playing at Dallas. And these two teams are, I think, fourth and fifth or third and fourth, whatever it is in the West. So theoretically, they're matched up with each other in the playoffs. But Utah has been playing so much better than Dallas right now, and I like the idea that in the end, and Utah's lost 3 straight games, so I like the idea that they're going to bounce here and get a good game against Dallas, who's been struggling. And yeah. So anyway, I got what is it? Over 228, over 239 in Utah +2. And I scratched a couple other games that were on the list, but those are the ones I like.
In college hoops today, both games are tough in this regards. With Duke winning and in the Final Four, the whole world, yes, I'm saying the whole world, has Carolina already advancing, because that will set up what could be the biggest game in the history of college hoops, going back to Bird versus Magic, as Mr. Lucky stated. A Carolina team playing the Peacocks, a Peacocks team that was 18-point underdogs to Kentucky and won. 8.5-point underdogs to Murray State and won. 13-point underdogs to Purdue and won. And today they're 8.5-point underdogs. Now, I know in these lanes, when you start adding the mental part of this into your equation, more often than not, you're going to lose. When the team has lost 5 in a row, you say they can't lose 6 in a row. They do. When a team has won 5 in a row, they can't win the 6th in a row. They do. When you start putting the horse in front of the cart, especially on a Sunday, more often than not, you're going to lose. Do I expect Carolina to win? Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, everyone's waiting for that Cinderella shoe to disintegrate, to blow up. This Peacock team just finds a way. But the fact of the matter is that they're staring at Duke makes it so much more intriguing. I thought I'd wake up today and see a 9.5. It's still at 8.5. So I expect Carolina to win. I don't know what to do with that game. So then we get to Kansas and Miami. That's at a flat 6. Kansas got us by 1 point against Providence. Remy Martin missed not 1, not 2, but 3 free throws in the last minute. Lands on 5. We lose. Do I expect Kansas to win today? Yeah, I do. I don't know what to do with the 6 points. The numbers aren't telling me anything, guys. I'm being honest with you. Both sides of these games, I was hoping to wake up this morning. I was hoping to get a signal, a tell. I'm not. Scotty, on pregame, can you read the numbers?
So the St. Peter's, North Carolina game, 429,000. 50% of the money is on 50% of the money. So it's even split exactly. 58% of the tickets is on St. Peter's.
And the line's stuck at 8.5?
Line's 8.5. Now I will tell you the other game, the line's 5.5 now. So Miami and Kansas, the number's 5.5. It's actually it's 5.5 at Circa, Westgate, South Point, DraftKings, Caesars, according to Wager Talk. So the numbers, $518,000 on this game. So there's $100,000 basically more bet on this game. 54% of the money, 51% of the tickets on Miami. Now, I guess that's not a dramatic amount of money, but I guess it's enough to move the number just a tick.
Oh, I wanted to just throw this out there. Lucky brought this up a couple times yesterday. After the All-Star break, with about 22 games left or 24 games left in the NBA season, I don't know the name, so I can't credit it, but on 98.5, they were talking about it. They did a simulation of the Celtics end of the year. They had them going 22-4, which everyone fell off their chair. They had them as the number one seed. And then they had them losing in the first round of the Hawks. So that would be like mind blowing. But with Milwaukee losing, if the Celtics win today, they go to a tie or the number one seed.
I got it right here. So this is what I was looking at earlier. So right now, Philadelphia is the number one seed, but they're 46-27. Miami's the number 2 seed. They're 47-28. Boston's the number 3 seed, 46-28. And Milwaukee's the 4 seed, 46-28. All 4 teams are within a half a game of each other. So if one team wins, the other team loses, they all just jump each other and all that stuff, probably for the next 8 days. So who knows where that's going to totally end up. But it's kind of interesting kind of how that works. And I really wasn't too I knew they had a play-in game, but you know how the play-in game works, Jeff? It's a play-in tournament. So team 7 plays team 8. The winner of that game goes on to play the number 2 seed. The loser of that game will play the winner of the 9 and 10 game. So 9 and 10 plays each other, and the winner of that game plays the loser of the 7 and 8 seed. The winner of that game then goes to play the number 1 seed. And then the obvious loser of the 9 and 10 seed is gone. So it's an interesting format to get these things in there. And it's like I was saying, right now, Charlotte and Atlanta are 9 and 10, but Charlotte could go up and pass Brooklyn. Charlotte's 38-36, Brooklyn's 39-35. So I don't think you really want to be in that 9 and 10 game where the loser goes home and then the winner goes and plays the number 1 seed. But anyway, that's the way it works. If you're 7 and 8, at least you play each other, and the winner goes and plays the number 2 seed. And then the loser at least plays the other winner of the other thing to go on to play the number 1 seed. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, that being said, these teams are battling for certain spots. I don't think anybody's in any kind of jeopardy here. Cleveland can move into the 6th seed and Toronto can fall out of the 6th seed. On the other side, I think they're almost set in stone. Where Minnesota can move up to the 6th seed, and that's what I was saying before. That Utah and Dallas, they're 45-40, and both of them 45-29 each. So it's Phoenix can just take the rest of the season off and still be the number 1 seed. They only lost 14 times the whole season.
NHL today, nothing again. No signals, no signs, no big moves. Tampa -150 at the Islanders. Pittsburgh -345 against the Red Wings. Rangers -280 against Buffalo. One of the better games. Colorado's only -135 against Minnesota. Nashville -250 against Philly. The Devils -170 or 80 against Montreal. Another good game, Florida and Toronto. I've seen a little movement here on Toronto, now up to 123. Arizona, Winnipeg -265. Again, guys, it's a board for me, for my eyes, for our team that just is not intriguing. I'll be honest with you. I usually put together a Sunday action parlay. Hopefully win a couple of units. If not, we just move on to next week. New day, new start, new beginning. I'm having a hard time putting the damn parlay together today, Scott. So with that, be careful, be safe, enjoy the games. No need to try to break the bank today because there's nothing out there in our eyes. But that doesn't mean you guys don't have an opinion. So closing thoughts, Scott.
I'm getting a little itchy now. I mean, it's getting to be about that time where you start to look at stuff, but um, it's like I said, you just got to be careful what you look at. I'm telling you, don't look at the stats. The stats don't mean anything. Don't look at the stats. Look at velocity, that kind of stuff. But don't look at the stats because and I didn't look. Maybe I can look here for a second. Where's the strikeout guy at here? Um, he has faced. I mean, he's faced decent pitching so far. He hasn't even faced major league pitching yet, and he struck out 14 times. But the point of the matter is that you don't know what they're up to, what they're trying to do. You know, the other thing that I noticed yesterday, just started yesterday, we got guys throwing 50 pitches now. So 50, 55 pitches. So I think that's a good sign that they're going to be ready to go here as the season progresses and we go up from there. And hopefully we don't, it's like Severino, got bombed in both of his starts. But none of that matters. If he's trying to get to 50 pitches, that's all he's trying to do. And he's trying to work through how hard he can throw and his arm doesn't fall off and all that kind of stuff. So, just be careful what you read into because some of this shit doesn't matter, especially right now. And I'm telling you, just by being in the dugout and being in those rooms and knowing what the game plan is, there isn't one. There's an individual game plan for every player. They go out there and they try to do whatever they're trying to do, and that's all they're trying to do. Nobody's trying to win these games. They're not. That doesn't mean that you can't, figure out, okay, well, this guy's a better pitcher, and if he's on, he's going to, throw better. I will tell you that if you're going to start betting these games, these pitchers are going 50 and 50 pitches. That's at least 4 innings now. So then the next guy, what they're doing is a lot of piggybacking. Like today, the Mets, right? I think the Mets are throwing DeGrom and then Scherzer, and they're saying Scherzer is going to throw 60 pitches today. So what does that tell me? That tells me there's 100 pitches, and they might be the only 2 guys that throw the game. And if you're gonna do that, there's a sure winner for you right there, brother.
Yeah, that's why they jumped to like minus 350 today.
I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the number, but I'm pretty sure. That's what. Oh, it's minus. I see minus 280, minus 300. I see now. So, but yes, that's what's going on. You got Scherzer and DeGrom. And watch DeGrom will go out there and his arm will fall off or something. And he'll throw 1 inning, and then Scherzer comes out and throws 2 innings, and then they got to put it all together. And then all of a sudden, the St. Louis or whoever they're playing beats the crap out of them. But I mean, that's baseball. That's the way baseball works. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm fired up. I'm fired up for some of these matchups to see what happens. There have been some announced starting pitchers so far. So I think there's like 5 or 6 so far that have been slated as number ones for opening day. I'm trying to keep track of that so I can get real numbers and make sure that the projections I did a couple of days ago are right because some other pitcher might start or something because of an injury or something I don't know about. But anyway, that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to stay with it, keep going, and not get too focused in on what you see right now because there's certain things you can look at, but most of the stuff don't. I mean, don't even look at swings and misses by pitchers because they're not trying to get swings and misses. They're just throwing a ball. Getting their arm going, trying to get a little bit of movement here, a little bit of movement there, trying to do this. They're experimenting more than anything. They're not actually trying to do. I mean, sure they want to get outs, but I mean they're not trying to win the game. So just be careful what you're looking at.
Myself will be tiptoeing across the street over to South Point. Round 2 with Mr. Lucky. His friends, Bernie Fratto, Fox Sports Radio, the man, the myth, the legend. As Lucky would say, the pipes of Vegas. will be joining us at 11 a.m. talking shop, talking stories. Um, and from there, potentially have an afternoon engagement. We're not sure yet. Myself and Dave are waiting for confirmation there. We haven't gotten final confirmation. But as I'm winding down, Thursday, wheels up. But we still have a handful of days left, and we're going to do our best to finish strong here. And before we get back east, today's high is only 89 degrees. Yesterday was 95. The day before 93. From here, get my cardio in. Hopefully, a little hot tub action to loosen up my chest, get some of this crap out with the allergies. Might have to tiptoe to Walgreens, Scotty, to figure out what to get here because it is brutal. And listen, I get allergies back home, but I never get it in my chest, and it's brutal right now. So between the ACs, the casinos, all the people out there, it is what it is. So we'll just take it minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. So with that, anyone wagering and investing today, please, please, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20 MLB, we wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy Family Day. It's the last day of the week. Have some fun with these games. Cash some tickets. And myself and Scotty will see you bright and early next week. Tomorrow morning, that is. See you soon.